chickadees. Happy Wednesday. It's Wine and Crime. I don't feel like I have anything to whine about this evening. I'm not drinking wine, but I definitely don't have anything to be whining about today. I am ready to cover a lot of different cases tonight, and we have such a phenomenal guest. I'm very excited to introduce her to all of you. Good evening, Free Kelsey. Thank you for joining us. And Disney Nerd, thanks for coming back. We appreciate having you. Couple things. If you have not subscribed yet, please make sure that you subscribe, hit the like button. If you are on replay, crew, thank you so much for watching the replay. And when you are, also hit that like button. Tell all your friends what a great time you had, and we'll be able to have them join us again. Hello, Ava. Thanks again for joining us. So, anyone that has subscribed to, or not subscribed, anyone that has donated to my channel in the past, I want to say thank you very much. I know it's a choice that you don't have to make, and I do so appreciate it. So let me tell you about this CourtTV regular who's also a private investigator who's going to be joining me and all of us tonight to talk about all the tea that has been spilled this week. And there's been a lot of tea this week. Please welcome Miss Loren Katie. Hello, my dear.
Hello.
Oh,
I should have had you.
I should have had my I'm so bad at this. There it is. I'm just an old girl trying to learn new tricks.
I feel you. I feel you.
So tell us first off a little bit about you, what your background is, how you ended up where you've ended up, and then we're going to dig into some cases. But I want to hear about you first.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have background working for DCF, and then I was fortunate enough to have a neighbor who was a private investigator and his wife, and they kind of talked me into going and doing that on the weekends to get my license. And that was all it took. I was always interested in doing something like that, and I guess I kind of just needed the push. And so I went and did the academy on the weekends until I was able to finish that and get my license. So
how long did it take you?
It didn't take too long, probably about 4 months, but I was doing it part-time. So you can do it potentially even faster than that.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, I'm my husband, he calls me Little Miss Nosy Britches, which is fantastic for what I do right here. And so I've always wanted to dabble in the private investigating arena just because
you should. Yes.
I like to dig for stuff, I'm not very inconspicuous though.
That's okay.
And so I think that they'd be like, yeah, that lady over there, that crazy old lady, she's following me.
You know what? There's not a lot of women in it. So people are less likely to spot women. And that is a good thing for when you're looking for a job. They take that into consideration that you're a woman, because most of, people in the field are men. So I think
and the other thing too,
do it.
I used to joke all the time because everybody that meets me automatically, especially men, automatically have like this school teacher vibe from me. And it's like, honey, you so don't know my background.
Yeah.
There's a lot more there. But the way I appear does not come across. There's like a disconnect there, which is a good thing if you're going to do any sort of private investigating. So
absolutely. Yes. And you're so good at fitting in anywhere you go, I think. So you would do amazing at it.
Well, I don't know about all that. I don't know. I better stick with my current career. So let's talk about the Brian Walshe thing that happened this week. What in the world? Did you see that coming? I did not.
I did not. But I guess it kind of makes sense now, because I do feel like maybe they were stalling a bit with his competency stuff going on. So I guess, always expect the unexpected, and didn't see it coming though.
I didn't see it coming either. I think it's a good strategy for the defense. I'm even more interested now to see the evidence come in because I do think it's going to limit how much the Commonwealth can bring in. And I definitely am more interested in watching that trial now because of the choice they made.
Yes, I'm excited to see what their plan is. Obviously, they have one. I think 100% agree with you. It was good. It was wise. I think there's a bigger chance of him taking the stand now. And because the evidence that we know, it's pretty damning, at least the stuff that is out there. At least in my opinion. And I think really the only chance they have is to kind of build some kind of a rapport with him on the stand with that jury to get one person. And I feel like maybe there's more of a chance now that he's going to take the stand.
Well, I will definitely be there to watch that. That's for sure. I don't care what's happening
Same.
at work that day. I will be tuning in. Much
Yes,
like I'll be
me
tuning
too.
in tomorrow. Excuse me,
Yes.
I'm still battling the asthma. So sorry, everybody.
Oh, you're fine.
So, speaking of tomorrow, since we're kind of talking about surprises and we briefly talked about this backstage, Zach Adams, the hearing for the Holly Bobo case, that is going on today, tomorrow, and Friday. And I just saw a few clips that Law and Crime put out there. And it's just, I watched almost all of the hearing in August. And I walked away thinking, I never say this, but I think there's a possibility he could get a new trial. And
Ah,
and now seeing kind of what came in, I mean, what some of the testimony was again today. Yeah, I'm very anxious to see what happens. I lived in Tennessee at the time that case was all the buzz. And so
okay.
I'm not sure if they got the right guy or not. I'll be honest. So I'm
I
anxious.
don't I don't know much about that case, so I will be very curious to watch it. The name automatically rings a bell, but I never followed it when it was going on. So I will be right there watching with you.
So they convicted 3 individuals for the abduction and I think grape and homicide of Holly Bobo. And I don't know how all of them fit together, but I think there's a possibility there's some finger pointing and that stories don't exactly match up. And it's starting to seem, anyway, like Zach Adams, the one that is asking for the new trial right now, it is the one that was kind of on the outs with the other 2.
Hmm.
So we'll see what happens, but that's kind of the crux of that case. And with Brian Walshe back on that, um, I'm just trying to figure out what evidence may not be able to come in now. Um, and it does sound like the defense, based on the hearing, well, all the motions in limine that were done on Monday, it sounds like they're trying to limit, the defense is trying to limit how much the jury is actually going to see.
Yeah, and I've heard a couple things. I've heard it will be limited. They won't know that he has pled to those charges, but eventually like all of that will come in. He'll just basically own up to it. It'll be part of the narrative that they kind of spin for the trial. And then I've heard all of it's coming in. So I don't know. I am not enough, versed in the law to know for sure, but I have heard both things from different attorneys. And so I am kind of wondering how that's all going to play out and what the judge is going to decide on that as well.
Hey, we're all just jurors here in Ms. Demeanor's
Yes.
house. So some of us are a lot more educated than other jurors. But when it comes time, when we did the Raoul Valley replay last week, I was the foreman, of course, of our jury.
Yes.
But yeah, we're just jurors. We know a little bit more than the average person when it comes to the law, but I am definitely not a lawyer. Don't take advice from me. It's certainly not legal advice. You can take other advice from me, but not legal advice. No, no. So yes, I will be very anxious to see how that unfolds.
Yes, same.
Let's talk Kelsey Fitzsimmons. She has a hearing next week. I'm trying to remember, is the hearing next week for custody or is the hearing next week for the follow-up to the ridiculousness of her being taken into custody?
I believe it's the latter, because I believe Bradel waived
Bradel.
his response back to try to speed that up to hopefully possibly get her home in time for Thanksgiving. So I
Wouldn't
believe,
that
if
be
I'm not
great?
mistaken, it's that.
What do you think the chances are with that? Do you think they're actually going to listen to the entirety of the recording, or do you think they're just going to read? What do you think?
I think they will. I think they will at least do that. My skepticism is strictly based off of the Karen Reed SJC thing with her case. And again, I thought that was the wrong decision. But so that's basically all I know as far as that. And so that makes me have a little less hope for her. But when you strictly go at what, Bradel's argument is, it's clear as day that that judge broke, all kinds of all kinds of things that she shouldn't have, and really just took her abuse of power to another level on this one. So I am still holding out a lot of hope. Whether or not that is silly of me, I don't know. We'll find out. But I am very hopeful that they will see through it.
I was literally jaw on the floor when I heard that hearing and just how unbelievably vicious she was to not just Kelsey, but to Mr. Bradel, even to poor, I said this wrong on Justice Served TV. Mr. January, isn't that his name? Mr.
Yes.
January.
Although I like Tuesday better, I will say.
I
Like,
kept saying
yes, I love it.
Saturday, and then Michael's like, yeah, let's call him Mr. Tuesday.
That was
Um,
great.
So she was even vicious to him.
Yes.
I don't understand where all that was coming from. Have you heard any sort of insight, any scuttlebutt or anything that would explain that?
Yeah, it's all rumors, but I'm with you. I mean, for somebody who watches a lot of trials like yourself, I also do, and I've never heard that kind of tone or tenor ever before, and I was just immediately like, whoa, what is going on here? Something's up. Why is this so personal to you? And you are like hell bent on putting her back in prison. This is insane. And so I from day one was like, something doesn't add up. This is the same, area-ish as Karen Reed. There's got to be some players that know each other, and this seems way too personal. And I have heard, I don't have anything confirmed, but I have definitely heard rumbles of there's connection between the judge and maybe people in the police department, which would not shock me at all. In fact, it would make a whole lot more sense because I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Well, that was one of the other questions I want to know, and I haven't taken the time to research it, but I want to know how she's behaved with other defendants in front of her that have come in for similar requests, because they were voluntarily coming in there. It had absolutely nothing to do with her violating anything. They were requesting a modification for her scram testing, which that in and of itself doesn't even make any blessed sense to me, because why did alcohol have anything to do with anything? Because she wasn't under the influence at the time of the supposed or alleged incident. And I say alleged because I have a lot of questions about this narrative that has come forward about what actually happened that day.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I have issues.
I do too. I'm right there with you. Yeah.
Go right ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I have absolutely no idea that if there was drinking involved in the incident. Okay, I can see it, but I know that when I took a little quick look at her, I know she has done a lot of OUI cases and, pedestrian accidents or, something involved with alcohol. She has a long record of that. So maybe that's one of her hangups. I don't know. But again, she would have a fairly decent rapport with the probation department there, you would think.
You would
And the
think.
way that she, treated the probation Mr. January was horrific. Like, what is that going to do for further engagement with them and her? That's not helpful.
Well, first she
So,
tried to just eliminate it altogether by saying that I can't accept this affidavit because it's hearsay, which is absolute bovine scatology. You
yes.
you can accept it. And then he's like, well, actually, I'm right here. I was like,
Right.
oh, shoot, he's right there.
Right. Now I've got to make something else up. It was awful.
Exactly. Yes, indeed. That's exactly what it appeared. Is that she was making something up. And
Yes.
hey, Bia, nice to see you. And I agree, Disney nerd, that she saw the info on the family court case and she's not supposed to consider that, but it probably influenced her in this particular case as well. It really is so infuriating when you think about how she was treated. It could have been completely avoided. They could have just lied. And this is the thing. It makes me wonder if some of the corruption that exists in Massachusetts is like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because when you encourage people to not be honest and forthright, then that's what they do. They tend to not be honest and forthright. And it's almost
Exactly.
like this cycle that they've created there.
Absolutely. And I think, just speaking for myself, I have a lot of questions about Noonan's, report of that evening, how things went down, and I think it's my strong belief it was him or her and he knew he was going to be in trouble. I think he probably overreacted and panicked, and it was, well, guess I'll just lie because I'm not going to lose my job over it.
Yep.
So to go with your point, if that is what happens, then that leads me to believe that probably wasn't the first time he's done something like that. And that's really concerning. Same with Karen Reed and all of those cops in her case.
Yeah, the narrative of what he claims was the reason that he felt danger, it absolutely is a lie. There's no other
Yes.
way to put it. It's a lie. It's an impossibility based on everything else that we know. That's
Yes.
the part that probably frustrates me just on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
So,
And even just the eyewitness or ear witnesses that heard him saying, don't do it. That's goes along with her having the gun to her head. If a gun is pointed at you as an officer, you're not saying that. It's going to be a whole lot more
no,
forceful, and that's even if you have time to say something. You're at that point, it's your life and you have to protect yourself. So it doesn't make
I
sense.
f- I feel like if it was pointed at him, it would have been something like put it down, not don't do it. Put it
Yes.
down, if you even had that kind of time. You're right, because I can't imagine there would have been that much time. What does Disney Nerd say here? I've heard rumors, not vetted, but speculation that it may be a connection to the ex, and that's why she acted gross and knows the family case info. I had heard that possibility as well, that there may be some sort of coinky dinky relationship between the judge and the alien's family. I don't say his name. He doesn't deserve my voice
What a
speaking
creep that
his
guy
name.
is. What a creep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I think it's all going to come out in the end. It may take a long time, but I feel like we'll eventually get answers to all the questions.
Yes, and I
So
fully believe she will be exonerated of all of this. They have
I think
nothing.
so
There's no
too.
jury that's going to convict her of even the lesser charge. It's absurd, and I think when all is said and done, she's going to have some good civil cases that she can go after.
Oh yeah, I think her having to sell her home is a temporary situation because she's going to be in a much better position down the road. It's just going to take some time and some investigating. So,
Yes.
one of the things that I wanted to talk about, it looks like maybe we're going to get the sidebars.
Yes.
The
Finally.
Karen Reed sidebars. What do you think we're going to find from that?
Well, I am very excited about the possibility of all of those text messages between the witnesses that we have not been able to see because it's been under protective order. If that will be out or if they're going to, hide that from us, again, but I am at least hopeful that some of that will be in there and we'll get some nuggets that we were not able to, see. And then I'm also a little concerned that we're going to be all really pissed off even more because we're going to see what Bev didn't let in that should have probably come in. And, so but it's definitely exciting.
That is one of my biggest concerns as well, is that I think it will expose. I mean, we know how Bev behaved. I'm sorry, I should not say Bev. We know how Judge Cannoni behaved in the courtroom in front of everyone. I can't imagine how she must have behaved at sidebar.
Yeah.
That's what I am so anxious because I'm expecting it to be awful. I'm expecting to be outraged and enraged. They seem to go hand in hand on my channel, outrage and enrage. But I'm fully expecting it's going to be an episode for me.
Oh,
It's going to
yeah.
be an
For
episode.
sure. Absolutely. I can only imagine, how disrespectful she's going to be to Jackson and Yannetti, just with how she was out in the open when everyone could see and hear, exactly like you're saying, how the nasty remarks that she must have done there and on the sidebar. So I think we're all going to be really pissed off at a lot of it.
Oh, I do too. I'm fully waiting or fully expecting to be really, really, like, I'm going to need to read them someplace where I can't get in trouble for my outbursts
Yes.
because I can assure you there will be some what
Yeah.
and what are we doing? Yeah, that. And Ava is asking, do we know if it's from season 1, 2, or both? I think it's probably from both.
That would be my guess too, because I don't think that I've heard that one ever came out.
Mm-mm. No, because it was still a pending case. So yeah.
Yeah, we should have a
I
lot of juicy nuggets for sure.
Yeah. Bia says it's both. So okay,
Okay,
good.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Um I'm curious to see how, like what did we not get to see? And especially this kind of like goes into the next thing that I wanted to talk about is the lawsuit.
Mhm.
The 46-page law. Did you read it?
I read part of it. It
Oh,
was
I
super
love
late
it.
last night and I fell asleep and I was like, "Oh," and I haven't had a chance to read the rest of it, but I read a good portion of it.
Well, I'll tell you, I have it pulled up. So if we want to go over anything, I am fully prepared for that.
Yes.
And I have to tell you, it was fantastic to me to finally have a complete narrative of what the defense thinks happened, which it's kind of funny because it was I would say maybe mid-trial season 2, that I all of a sudden was like, what if he went in the wrong door? Went in the garage door and they had the dog out in the garage, and that dog attacked him immediately. And then they heard the commotion in the house and went out to check and were like, "Oh shoot. What are we going to do?" I really think that's probably what happened.
There is so many possibilities once we now know that that garage kind of meets garage, yes. It meets the injury on the back of his head, because that is very telling. And if that matches up with the injury, whatever happened is very likely to have happened in that garage.
And I don't know how the basement ties into everything. I don't know the complete layout of that house, but I'm wondering, because there were a lot of people in the house
Yes.
at the time that Karen and John arrived there. And so it makes me wonder if, because he lost a lot of blood, and where did it all go? Where was it? Because it wasn't in the grass under all of the snow. And also, I don't know how quickly he would have bled out in those cold temperatures to lose that much anyway.
Yeah, there would have, some of it would have seeped into the ground, but there would have been congealed blood all around his head. You just you cannot get over that point. It would have been there had he been there from the entire time. So then you go to, well, what was the activity that happened in that house in the months to come? And then you have the Alberts, just all of a sudden going to redo the basement floor that's on concrete. So you have to go back. Something, in my opinion, something happened, whether he was placed there when he was still unconscious. They didn't know if he was alive. Something happened where there's evidence there that they felt the need to remove. I don't know how it all played out. It's very frustrating, but something is up with the basement remodel.
What do you think old Higgy Boy was going back to Canton PD for?
Man, the amount of time I have thought about that. I don't know. And the only thing that makes sense is maybe a Faraday bag, but I don't know what they had there. And there's so much about this that we don't know because it was never investigated. We should at the very least have more details into that night in the home. And that would be any person who had a dead man or a dead cop on their yard. They would have went inside. So there's just so much we don't know. But that's the only thing that I can think of that could possibly be it. But I don't know. I mean, there's probably multiple reasons, is my guess too, that we just don't even know.
Yes, I think it was a Faraday bag. I absolutely believe that. I mean, I think that was one of the items. And the reason I say that is because there was absolutely no movement, nothing at all from his phone, which wouldn't be suspicious, but I took a lot of notes in season 2. And one of the things that I took notes on was the temperature of the phone and how it dropped. And I don't remember the specifics. I have my notebook here that I have all my notes in still, but it was dropping quickly. The temperature of the phone was dropping quickly. And then all of a sudden, bam, it stopped dropping for a long period of time. And I know people say, oh, well, he was laying on it. Because he'd have been laying on that the entire time.
That's right.
So I believe that when it was stabilized, that's when it was in a Faraday bag away from where he was. And that we didn't hear anything in the second season. I heard rumors about this DNA on the shoe. Did you hear this?
I heard rumblings
Unknown
about it,
DNA.
but not enough to like speak on it,
And
educational,
I
Go
feel
ahead.
like Alan Jackson said that in like his opening statement, something
Okay.
about there being unidentified male DNA on
Oh,
the shoe, on John
yes.
O'Keefe's shoe. And that's what really, really got me thinking. Yeah, they dragged his tail from the back of the house out there to the flagpole. And especially
100%.
because the back of his jeans have those like grass stainy marks. How the heck did that happen?
He was absolutely dragged. It's the only thing that makes any sense. And I think as to the DNA, I did hear that there was 3, but there was not enough of a sample to test to find out exactly who it was. They just know that it was separate from John O'Keefe.
Gotcha.
But again, you're
How does that
carrying
happen?
someone.
And then there was a shoe that was missing too. I'm
Yes.
sorry. We all know he didn't get hit by a car. So he
No.
didn't get hit by her SUV and thrown out of his shoe. And by the way, when that happens, you don't get thrown out of one shoe and you keep the other one on. You get
Right.
thrown out of both of them. Physics
Right.
have a way of doing these kinds of things. So yes, I
Yes. Yeah, I've had the misfortune
absolutely
of seeing someone. Sorry, my microphone's messed up, so if there's a delay, that's why. I've had the unfortunate, of seeing someone who has been hit by a car. It is not even close to what the injuries are, and it wasn't even a high, rate of speed that this person was hit at. So anyone who has common sense knew from day one that is not, those are injuries that didn't come from being hit by a car. So the same with the shoes. Absolutely. It's not how it works. And it's disingenuous, but.
What do you think is going to happen about the Google search? Because I see they kind of doubled down in this lawsuit about it. And so I want to know what your take is on it.
I mean, here's the thing. They were only able to say that Google search didn't happen when they got someone to completely change and rewire the software. That's a problem, because if that's the case, then how many other cases and someone's life that was depending on some sort of a search for a murder case or a rape case or whatever else have you is in prison, falsely accused, and that being a key evidence point was a search. It's problematic for Celebrite. It's problematic for every police department that uses Celebrite and relies on their information. It's a really slippery slope, and I don't know what in the world they were thinking, because that whole thing has so many larger implications than just Karen Reed. And I think they're going to have to eat their words on this one. I really do. It doesn't make sense what they're saying.
You know what I think is going to happen? Or at
Tell
least
me.
I hope and pray. It would be easy to subpoena Google and ask
Yes.
them between this period of time, how many searches were conducted on your application, how long to die in cold. How many people do you think at that particular hour would have been Googling that? And
Yes.
I think once that is determined, this will all be, that will be the shot heard around the world.
I think that's an excellent point. And I also, with the civil, they're going to have more leniency as to what can be looked at, what can be searched, what can be admitted. So that is a fantastic point. And what a great day that will be, because that, again, that is the damning evidence that you just cannot. She knew it before. That's a problem. You know,
I
you
am
can't get past that.
so hoping that we can get confirmation because that would be an easy thing. None of this
Yes.
celebrate stuff and all of this. You just ask Google. I,
Yep.
I'm sure they would be able to tell you. My concern is that so much time has gone by now that the information wouldn't be available. That's the
Yep.
part that I worry about.
Yeah.
Because if that search can get confirmed at that time, oh boy. Oh
Yes.
boy. Oh,
Yes.
Jen baby, she's going to have bigger problems on her hands than Karina Kolakethis. I
Oh,
can
yeah.
tell you that, which it
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
like that might be her latest concern. Did you
Yeah,
hear
she has a lot
the
of them.
rumor? The
So,
rumor is
not I heard there's something, but I haven't been able to see what it was. So please tell me, fill me in.
the rumor, and since I am not a lawyer and I do not provide any sort of legal advice, and I'm also not a journalist, so I can just say whatever I want because
Yes.
I don't fall into any of those things. But the rumor I have heard is that Karina Kolakethis is filing a lawsuit against Jen McCabe for witness intimidation.
Oh, wow. I love this. I love this rumor. They're having a
Yes.
terrible November. I don't know.
It's a November to remember for us.
Wow,
That's the
that would be
rumor I'm
amazing.
hearing.
Amazing.
I don't know if it's true or not, but the Kolakethises were the only ones that were like legitimate and honest in their
Yes.
testimony. I
I
didn't
love
feel like they
them.
were shady at all. I loved them too. There was so much shade with all of those witnesses in that trial.
And
You know what? The
and the
Raul
reason to
Valley
be.
trial was the
Ugh.
same way. They were all shady except for like two.
Yes.
And there wasn't any yeah, if you're not guilty, don't act guilty. Cut it
Exactly.
out.
Exactly. It you know, if it smells like something and it walks like something, it's probably something. And
If it smells like dung, it probably is dung.
yes. Yep. I mean, again, there's no reason for the weird stuff. There just isn't. So, the only thing that makes sense is because they were involved. So, I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful for the future for the first time in this case.
Yes, I'm excited to it's going to be a long haul. I know everybody is chomping
Yes.
at the bit on Karen Reed's civil trial. I just have to let everybody know that this is going to be years before
Yes.
we get the actual truth. And I mean, 2027 is what they're calling for a trial date for that. That's 2 years from now, y'all. Everybody
And
needs to
I think
simmer
that's
down
even
in the
soon.
movement. Yes, I do
Yeah.
too. I think it'll be more like 2028
Yeah.
if it doesn't settle before.
Yep. Yep.
And I still think there's a very strong possibility that that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in both of the cases with the civil suit against Karen and then what she just filed yesterday. I think that one could very easily settle out because they're not going to want all of that information, all their private text messages. I mean, y'all got to think Adelson here because they're like the Adelsons of Massachusetts, where they want to control the narrative. They want to control everything. They want to be in charge of everything, very much entitled and above the law. That is what I see with the McAlbert clan. And so they're
Oh,
not
yeah.
going to want to fall off of that pedestal.
That's why it's laughable to me, them coming out and saying that, you know, they're going to be making a suit against Karen and Aiden.
Pshaw.
That will never happen, ever. I mean, it is laughable. There's a reason that there has been years that have gone by and they haven't done it. So it's come on. They don't want any of that information out. And
No.
we can all, you know, assume why. It'd be real bad for them.
Yeah. And I think the only way it could possibly start to crack open, and this is just me spitballing, is if there is some sort of link between Proctor and maybe Kevin Albert or Proctor's wife, and who was it? Julie Albert that she was close to, friends
I think
with.
so. Yeah, and there's
I
no
think it
telling.
I think we could get a squeak out of information that we didn't necessarily know before. I personally think the defense knows way more than we do.
Yes.
And of course
yeah.
they can't say anything, or they don't want to say anything, because why would you show your hand?
No.
You
Yeah, it
wouldn't
would
show
be
your
silly.
hand.
Yeah,
So they're
it
keeping
would
it
be
very
silly.
close to the vest. I'm here for it. I, need to get out of Massachusetts from all of the lawsuits and everything there, but I'm ready for the tea to be spilled on the whole mess that is
You and me both.
Massachusetts.
You and me both.
Yes.
And I will say, if there is a weak link in that group family, it is Brian Albert's wife. Is that Julie?
I think that is Julie.
Okay. I always forget her name.
Well, wait, no.
But
No, that's Nicole, isn't it?
Nicole. Okay. Whoever Brian's wife is, that
That's
is
Jen's
the weak link.
sister.
Yes. Yes.
That's how I remember
In that
now.
interview that they did with 2020, everyone got real nervous whenever it was time for her to speak. And the body language to me was so telling. She's the weak link. I'll just say that.
So let me ask you, you may know
Mhm.
this. I have not looked this up. You know the behavior panel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did they do anything on the 2020?
I
Did
believe that they did.
Oh, if they did, I that'll be like, while I'm waiting for court to start for Holly Bobo tomorrow, I'm going to be digging into that mess right there, because I
Yes.
love the behavior panel. So
Yes, they're amazing. I got to meet them at CrimeCon, and they're as nice as they seem.
how did I
Very,
not see
very
you
nice.
at CrimeCon? I was at CrimeCon.
I wasn't at this one. I was at the one
Oh,
the year before in Nashville.
are you planning on
But
going in May?
I don't think so. Anything that's somewhat near me, I try to do, but all the way in Vegas, I don't know. I just I feel like I would need a lot more time there because I'd want to see Vegas too. So I'm like, I can't take like a whole week off. So I don't
I
think
have
I'm gonna
family
go, but
in California and family in Arizona, so that's a good meeting point
aw,
for us. So yeah,
yeah.
we're making it kind of like family time. And of course, my sister-in-law went with me to CrimeCon this past year, or I mean, just in September, and she's all about it. She's like, she's
Oh,
already bought her
great.
tickets and everything. So,
Oh, that'll be
yes, I'll be there
perfect.
again.
Oh, good. Okay,
Uh,
you can be our eyes and ears and report back.
absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so speaking of getting out of Massachusetts, and this is something else that has had stuff happening in the past, like 24 to 48 hours. This week has been nuts.
Yes.
That's why I'm kind of glad I didn't have a specific topic for us, because it's just been insanity. Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the David case, girl in the frunk. What?
I'm irritated because it's like it took them almost 2 months to come out and say he's a suspect.
We all
If
knew
that's
that.
the case, come on, we got a lot of work to do. Like, I think we all knew that. Like, come on. I'm just frustrated at this case specifically too, because there just hasn't actually, I'm frustrated at all the cases in California recently. It's
Oh,
all been a snail's pace at anything. And it's like, I just, some of the way that the DAs have handled cases out there recently have been very frustrating for me to see and hear. And this one is like, come on, what are you doing? Like, with it being so high profile, I am irritated that they have not come out and give us something, even if it's not specifics, but to let us know we are progressing something. But it just feels like they have nothing, and that is
I think
so
that
irritating.
so I was I don't want to say I was on with Loren Conlon earlier today, because that wasn't the case, but she did a live earlier today, and I was in her chat, and she and I have been conversing back and forth recently.
She's
And
great.
so, oh, she's awesome. I love Loren. And I asked the question, I'm starting to think because it was so weird to say, oh, supposedly a source is saying that that David is now a suspect. I think they're trying to do a bump. I think they're trying to tickle.
Okay.
That's what I think is going on. And that's why they've been very tight-lipped, because I don't think they have a lot.
Yeah.
I think they may be getting close to something that they're trying to push it over the edge. And I think that's why it was done. That's why it was a leak instead of like an official statement from the LAPD. I could be completely wrong and full of it.
Well, no, that would make more sense than them just now saying that, because that is ridiculous. So that would make more sense, a lot more sense.
I mean, don't you think that's an absolute possibility?
It is.
Because we're starting to hear some information kind of trickle out. I mean, I saw the TMZ post earlier today. I don't know if anyone else did, the little video that Harvey did about the fact that they confirmed that the police have cell phone location data that has David out in the middle of nowhere in the desert for an extended period of time, like a couple hours. And we don't know, I have not heard anyway, the full condition of what Celeste's body was when they retrieved her. But I'm wondering if it appeared she had been buried at some point, and that's why they're kind of putting those things together. And they're also stating that they believe he had to have help.
I think that that's a very astute observation on your part. Very, very much so. And also, I correct me if I'm wrong, it was not her whole body that was in that front, correct?
I don't know. I've gotten conflicting information, because I feel like they initially came out and said that she was dismembered, and then all of a sudden backtracked like Scooby-Doo, you know.
Yes.
And I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah. You can't come back from that.
I mean, was it or wasn't it? Couldn't you tell? Like, I feel like that would be pretty easy to figure out. But I'm kind of I imagine you probably follow Steve Fisher.
Yes, I love Steve Fisher. Yes.
And he has also stated that he believes David had help. That it was, I shouldn't say David had help, that it was more than one person. Because he has not specifically said it's David. He would never do that. So I don't want anybody leaving here saying that Ms. Demeanor said that, you know, Steve Fisher said that, because that's not what I'm talking about. I believe that. I think that he needed help. And now it's starting, like the timeline and things are starting to make sense. Also, what was reported was that they believe she likely lost her life in the spring, possibly April.
Okay.
And then her body was moved sometime later, probably closer to that. When was that Tesla towed? Was it July?
I think so, because it was summer.
Yeah. I feel like it was like July 30th or something is ringing in my head as a date that's, you know, special to this case. And I feel like that may have been when that Tesla was impounded and taken into custody. And then
that sounds about right. Yeah.
She just sat there in the frunk for all of that time. And
which is wild to me. I that's why when I first heard about this, it makes no sense. The whole thing, like you're dismembering someone in order to go and discard of them so that they're not found together, you know, like you want them in pieces somewhere, but then you just kind of stop mid, you know, journey, like, and leave it there. So like from day one, I was like, is this like a mental health break to where like they're not thinking clear? But then I heard things of like witchcraft stuff that was in the house and things like that. So I don't, yeah, that's what I heard. That there was some witchcraft memorabilia throughout the house that may or may not have been involved in maybe what occurred, but there was multiple. So then I'm like, well, that takes it a little bit to a different level. And so now I'm not sure, but they are definitely not coming out and saying a whole lot about it.
No, I think that this particular case, it's funny because people a lot of times will ask me what prompts me to follow a case over another one. And of course, I always say I don't do pets and I don't do children. I can't.
Yeah.
I did post the other day about Summer Wells in Tennessee that they were doing some additional searching there. Summer Wells would be, I think, 9, and now she was 5 when she went missing. I'm not going to cover that case. I do want to know what happened to Summer Wells.
I do too.
But when different cases come up like this one, they kind of grab my attention for different reasons. And this one seems to have a lot of tentacles, which I like in cases. I want to know if there are other pieces of the puzzle that are going to come up. So I don't like it necessarily just so, cut and dry. I mean, I think CourtTV is covering the neighbor, what's Matthew Land's. Did I lose you, Loren? You're frozen, honey.
It's fine. I need
to.
Oh,
there. Okay.
We're here and.
Oh no.
Back.
Are you there?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. Now you're back.
Okay. Sorry. I need to have a friend who's good at computer stuff come over and help me because I clearly am lacking in the technology department. That is not my specialty. So
well, sometimes the internet does weird stuff. So I totally get that.
It does.
But yeah, I've been watching the Matthew Land's case on CourtTV, and I mean, it's a bench trial, first off. So the judge is going to be the one that will be determining the verdict. It's not entirely, it's not deeply fascinating to me because it's just senseless. 2 people lost their lives. Yes, I believe there was a mental health issue, but outside of that, it's not very intriguing. But when you get into cases that have a little bit more meat on the bone, those are the ones I'm more interested in. The case out of Texas, the Suzanne Clark Simpson case, that one is interesting. Oh yeah, that's one we've covered on the channel here briefly as well. That one is interesting to me because there is a business partner that seems to be involved with the husband. It's a little Fotis Dulos and Brian Walshe like. She I mean, everybody knows that her husband killed her. And but there's a business partner, and there may be some financial issues going on. And so that I'm like, okay, wait, there might be a little more to this. And Corey Richins, girl, yeah, I can't wait for February. I am all about some crazy Corey Richins.
Oh my goodness, that woman.
I'm excited for that one to start. She's going to be upset because she's not going to have her Crest white strips in jail.
Whatever little prima donna she is, it is wild.
Hey, her and Donna need to get together. Yes. Donna with the too many carbs and her with she needs her Crest white strips. Give me a break. So, so yeah, the David case is one of those. I just feel like it's going to be interesting as it unfolds. Yes. Because I think there's a lot more than what we know.
I agree.
The next case I want to make sure we talk about, because it's been happening a lot this week too. Lots of things coming out. Anna Kepner on the cruise ship.
This one, it breaks my heart. This one breaks my heart. of all places, like you're on a family cruise,
Vacation.
enjoying, like you're supposed to just be enjoying yourself. She's at such a pivotal age in her life. Like I cannot wrap my head around this one. And I feel like, I don't know. I've heard reports that the family knew all along that it was kind of what we're hearing now.
Yes.
And
In
kind of
case
just
you
said,
all don't, go ahead.
yes,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
In case you all are not aware of this case, this is the 18-year-old girl that was found deceased on the on the Carnival cruise ship. And the rumors that are coming out or have come out in the past 24 hours are that I can't even say stepbrother, because as we're finding out, she was with her dad, and her dad's girlfriend had her children with all of them. They were all on vacation together, but they weren't married. So they're not technically stepbrothers and sisters and all of that. So it would have been her dad's girlfriend's son. It's sounding like he had something to do with her death. And she was found by housekeeping under the mattress in the room, and she had life jackets over that were piled on top of her. That's what my understanding is. And now I hear and see that mom was in the middle of a custody battle with ex-husband. Did you hear about this?
I did.
And she's now wanting to hold off on the custody hearing. And I'm hearing rumors that she's going to be pleading the fifth. When asked about her son, it's a whole mess. I don't know what kind of dysfunctionality is happening there, but it's a mess.
I think a lot. There was a court document that dropped. I think it was Abby Blabby that reported on it. I don't know if you saw it. I didn't. I can't validate or say that it is, but it looked legit from what I saw. But there was
on X,
allegations.
was it dropped?
Sorry,
was it on X or was it on YouTube?
Facebook.
Oh, Facebook.
Yeah. But the gist of it was, I guess he's had several wives, and there was some sort of a sexual battery charge against him from a previous babysitter who was
I
15.
saw that too.
Yes. So
Here's
I think
why,
there's a go ahead.
Here's why I was reluctant on that one, is because
Okay.
when I looked at it, it was like 10 or 15 days later that it was dismissed.
I saw that too. Yep.
And so that makes me wonder if I just have more questions now.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I don't know if this is correct or not, but they said that he ended up marrying her at some point.
Shut the front door.
That's what was reported. I don't know. Yeah, that's what they reported. So I
gotta find this. What is his name? Donahue, something Donahue.
Yeah.
Right?
Steven.
No.
No.
Wait a minute. No, because she's a Kepner.
Okay, hold on 1 second. It is no.
Here we are, y'all. We did this the other day where I like on the fly was researching things while we were live.
I love it.
I know, Kelly, right? Not sketch at all. No. I didn't hear the married part though.
It was wild. That's why I was like, I don't have time to like look into it, but like, if that's the case, because I think he's been married like 3 times, if not more, and I
I'm
don't
going to
know.
see if I can find. Titusville is where she is from. So I'm going to do some digging here. Oh, stop with the subscriptions.
Okay, the mom of this, if this document is accurate, or the dad, Christopher Purchell.
Spell that last name for me.
Yes, Percell.
Let's try Titusville. Christopher Purcell Kepner.
Yep.
State of Florida versus Christopher Purcell Kepner. Well, let's just see what this says. Oh, this is just a speeding ticket. Doggone it. Driving record. Hearing being set. Why would you need a hearing for a ticket? This was in April. Electronic. All right, let me see if I can find something else here. That doesn't appear to be what we're looking for. Let me see marriage. That's not getting me anything. Well, shoot. Christopher Purcell, Titus, Florida arrest. I'm going to have to do some digging into Daddy-O here.
Yeah, it seems very dysfunctional. It seems to be a lot going on.
Yeah. I did, especially because you're telling me that he married the 15-year-old
it is Abby Blabby, Andrea, you are correct. And it was on her Facebook page.
Yeah, I tried looking her up on the Talks of Tick, on the Twix, and I don't see that she has anything on here. This is everything on here.
The little tidbit that she posted about that. She said apparently Christopher had cheated on Anna's biological mother, Heather, with Tabitha, their 15-year-old babysitter. You'll notice the court case is for sexual violence, but ended up getting dismissed. Tabitha ended up being Christopher's second wife.
What is wrong with these people?
I'm like, that is, whoo. So I don't know, there seems to be a lot to this family dynamic.
Yeah. And it sounds like, well, when did he divorce her then? The second wife, or is he not divorced?
I don't know.
Holy cannoli. So yeah, that would mean that Anna is the daughter of his first wife.
Okay.
Because, well, yeah, it would have to be because he would be with a 15-year-old and Anna's 18 right now. So even if it was just a few years ago. And Andrea, no, he's not married to this other lady. He is not married to the mother of the son that we think had something to do with this. They are not married. But I want to know whether he is still married to, you said Tabitha was
let's see.
Was the babysitter's name?
Yep. He had cheated on Anna's biological mother, Heather, with Tabitha, their 15-year-old babysitter. And of course, like, because she's a minor, her last name wasn't listed, but
Well, it's
I
showing
don't
me
know.
Tabitha Kepner here is 33 years old.
Okay.
So now I am concerned that Anna could be the daughter of Tabitha
This is
because
wild. This case
the
is
timing would be right. She would be 15, add 18
yeah.
years to that. Oh my goodness.
There's
Oh my goodness. Okay. So Daily Mail posted something or had something like 9 hours ago. And I know it's Daily Mail, but take it for what
I
it's
feel like
worth.
they've gotten better, lately.
I feel that way too. I'm just going to kind of glance through here. They are saying parents admit stepbrother 16. It's not a stepbrother. 16 is suspect in Anna Kepner's death on board Carnival Cruises. Boy's father bids for custody of younger sister. As boys, okay, the father got it. I'm going to try to get this so that I can share it on the screen. How's about that?
Yes.
Oh, that's the wrong way I want to share it. Let's see. And I might have to let me see if I can F9 it so that we can see it without all the advertisements and everything. Oh, I have to add it in again. Sorry. I'm a professional. They all know. Such a professional.
I think you're doing great.
Thanks. Okay, so parents admit, I just read that. The parents of Anna Kepner's 16-year-old stepbrother have admitted for the first time that he is considered a suspect in her mysterious death on board a packed Carnival cruise ship. 18 on a 6-day Caribbean getaway with her dad, stepmom, siblings, and step siblings when she was declared no longer with us in international waters between Mexico and Florida on November 7th. Sources say the cheerleader's body was found wrapped in a blanket and stuffed under a bed in her cabin. Wrapped in a blanket? How weird.
Have you heard that? Because what I've heard is that she was naked as well, which would also indicate, yeah.
I have not heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, that takes it to a whole different kind of creepy, gross level. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm in the
I mean,
F9 of the world, so this is what happens.
it's
Uh,
crazy.
Let's try something different here because I think there's more to the story here. Yep, here we go. Oh, go away. Court filings obtained exclusively by the Daily Mail confirm that Anna's stepbrother, who cannot be named for legal reasons, now faces possible criminal charges. He's currently in the care of an unnamed third party. Oh my. Unnamed third party, according to a motion filed Tuesday by the boy's anxious father. Oh, for the love of all things holy. Demanding urgent clarification of what is happening to his son. He is going around saying, what is happening right now? Thomas Hudson is also seeking immediate custody of their other minor child, a 9-year-old girl currently living in Titusville, Florida, with Chantel Hudson and Anna's dad, Christopher Kepner. He's still with this woman after this has happened?
Wow.
Sir.
Wow.
The respondent took the remaining minor children on a cruise with a stepchild of her paramour. I got to read that again. The respondent took the remaining minor children on a cruise with a stepchild of, with Anna. That's what they're talking about. The paramour is Christopher Kepner. Just say the people's names here.
I know, right?
It's too complicated. I need to start getting, my flow chart out and everything. The 16-year-old child is now a suspect in the death of the stepchild during the cruise. While released from custody, the 16-year-old child is residing with a third party. So who's in this picture? Shows her. Who's with her? Is that the 16-year-old?
It appears.
Oh, boy. Because what do you all think about this picture? Tell me what you think, Loren, about this picture.
Well, immediately what stands out to me is she does look younger in this picture. So I wonder how recent this is.
She looks much younger.
Yeah. I see. I want to know how long they've been together. I want to know how long the kids have been commingling. I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, she does. Lovely Flight look like she's 12. I agree. That's a more recent picture.
Yep.
This is looking more like what we're used to seeing in this particular case. This is, oh, who is this?
Yeah, that.
Oh, is
dad and
that
stepmom.
her? I think this is Miss Chantel with him. Always good to have a picture, with your
It is
blue
it really
ribbon.
is.
Isn't that what it is?
Yes.
She's been locked in a custody battle with her ex, Thomas Hudson, over their children. On Tuesday, she filed a response acknowledging that it is true that there is an open investigation into her stepdaughter's death. I mean, if they're not married, it's not her stepdaughter.
Right.
The filing adds the 16-year-old's future has been put in jeopardy because of the choices made by the respondent. The youngest child is at immediate risk of abuse, abandonment, or neglect in the care of the respondent. Yikes. Chantel filed a response late Tuesday denying allegations that she neglected or abandoned her children. She added, it is true that there is an open investigation regarding the death of the biological daughter of the stepfather and boy's initials is a suspect regarding this death, which occurred recently on a cruise ship. Chantel's filing said the boy was staying with one of her relatives as she is providing counseling for all of her children. I wonder if she's trying to hide him from Thomas. Isn't his first name Thomas Hudson, the dad?
I don't remember his name, but
I got to go back.
I did hear
Thomas Hudson.
That, and again, this is just speculation and rumors at this point.
Hey,
but I did
that's
hear
what we do here.
Yeah. I did hear that when she first came up missing, that the child, the 16-year-old, went to her and told her what had happened. And she did not then report it and say.
So she's accessory after the fact.
Potentially.
And that's kind of what I was gathering from it. Okay, let's go down here because Bubbly Anna grew up on Florida's sun-drenched Space Coast with Christopher and his ex-wife, Tabitha Kepner, 33, and siblings age 14 and 9. Christopher and Tabitha split in 2023. Well, there's part of the answer. Yeah. But the crane operator soon found love again with Chantel, who divorced Thomas Hudson last year and relocated to Titusville with their two youngest kids. I wonder where they lived.
Yeah.
Because she up and moved everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So they've only been together 2 years at the most. Oh, boy. Late last year, Thomas, 37, accused his ex-wife of willfully violating court orders and denying his parenting time in a motion for contempt filed in Brevard County. They were due to square off in court next month, but Chantel filed an emergency motion Tuesday requesting more time to respond due to an extremely sensitive and severe circumstance. That's kind of an understatement. So this must be, so that's Thomas. And then I don't know who this other one is, but obviously the one to the right in the jacket and navy blue t-shirt, it must be the one that is involved in this, I'm assuming, because the other one looks too old to be 15, 16 years old.
Right.
Oh, boy. Bubbly, who is this in this picture, I wonder? That must be Tabitha.
Okay.
Bubbly Anna grew up in Florida, 41, his ex-wife. Yeah. Okay, so it does look like she must be the product of the first marriage then.
Okay.
Phew. Because they're saying Tabitha and siblings. I mean, that's what I'm gathering from this.
Yep.
And then this is all of them together. Interesting. So
It's very interesting.
he had 3 and she had 3. Is that how I'm seeing this? So 6 children between the two of them?
I think so, but I don't know. They don't break it down very good as far as
It
that
is
goes.
like I need one of those freaking boards like you see on Matlock. The new
Yeah, well, and
Matlock.
this is a complicated case with multiple families and multiple children. They
Oh
definitely
my
need to spell it
gosh.
out better.
She said the FBI had advised her that one of her minor children faced a potential criminal prosecution related to Anna's death. Any testimony the respondent may give, either written or oral, could be prejudicial to her or her adolescent child in this pending criminal investigation. She also denied Hudson's claims that she has refused him parenting time under the current custody plan. Yeah, I'm not buying that, but thus far, the FBI has refused to say how Anna died or whether she was murdered on board the Carnival Horizon, which visited Jamaica, Grand Cayman, and Cozumel before sailing back to Miami. Sources have told the Daily Mail that Anna complained of feeling unwell on the evening of November 6th and went back to her cabin. When she didn't appear for breakfast the next day, her family members began searching the sprawling $800 million mega vessel, which carries up to 4,700 guests. A maid eventually found the youngster wrapped in a blanket, covered over with life jackets, and stuffed under a bed, according to our sources who spoke under condition of anonymity. Anybody been on a cruise? I've been on a cruise. Have you been on a cruise?
Oh, yes.
So yeah, those beds, you can store stuff under them. They kind of like come up. They're like RV camper beds is what I call it. And that wouldn't have been so easy to do.
No,
She's
not at
not
all.
teeny tiny.
Yeah, there's not much room. Yeah. And
No.
apparently he slept on the bed as if like nothing had happened too.
No. That is so gross.
It's awful. Like I can't even
Well, and I did hear, and I'm curious to know whether it's going to tell us in this particular article, because Lovely Flight is saying never been on a cruise, too scared. It's so different now because they have cameras everywhere. So
yes.
Heartbroken Christopher insisted in a previous interview with the Daily Mail that investigators had shared barely any details with him. Oh boy.
Yeah.
This is Kepner posted a TikTok video from on board the ship 6 months ago saying how much she wanted to return. Okay, so it wasn't this. So they must have done a cruise earlier this year.
I did hear that.
Wow. Well, good for them. Party
Yeah.
on. I can't afford 2 cruises in 1 year,
I
but
know.
good for
And
you.
it just makes me so sad because this was her happy place, obviously.
Yeah.
And then this
Yeah.
is
We were there as a family. Everybody was questioned. Everybody came off that ship. I don't know who they are looking at or what their investigation is. He said the FBI hasn't shared anything with me yet. I would imagine they're going to be in contact with me about it, but I know as little as everybody else. I have no idea what is going on right now. We are just trying to sit still and wait for answers. Known by her nickname, Anna Banana, the 18-year-old was set to graduate in May and had plans to go to the military. Yeah, I don't need to know about how heartbreaking this is.
so
I
sad. Yeah.
need to pass this. I'm sorry, y'all. Like my soul can't deal with it.
Yep.
And then Carnival has their statement. Our focus is on supporting the family of our guest and cooperating with the FBI.
I just I don't like how they've stashed this kid somewhere else. First of all, if he has nothing to do with it, he's going to need support right now. If he was close to Anna and she's no longer with us. So why is he being put at some other person's house and under someone else's care? That is that's very weird to me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was distracted there. I was squirrel because everybody in the chat is saying 8 cruises. What did I miss? What? So that must be how they did their vacations, was they cruised.
Wow.
Yeah, I love to cruise. I can tell you all, I am counting the days. We are planning to cruise from Spain to Portugal next
Oh,
year, and I
yes.
can't wait. We're doing it in September, so everybody's going to hear all the craziness when it gets time for
Oh,
me to
that's
be
amazing.
flying into Barcelona and then from Barcelona going to Portugal. So
Oh, I
I
bet they'll so I was lucky enough to go on one from Italy, and it went like to Croatia and Montenegro and like that whole coast area. I would imagine that you're gonna get like the local food and wine and all of that of like the countrysides when you dock, which is incredible. So,
well,
oh man,
yes,
I can't wait to hear about it.
and I'm so lucky because part of the reason we're going is because Mr. Demeanor is Portuguese,
Oh, fun.
and his first language is Spanish. So I don't have to worry about talking to anyone because he's going to do all the talking.
That's great. Yes.
So I'm especially excited about that part.
Yes, that's amazing.
But yeah, I've been on several cruises. It's fantastic. It's safe. I mean, you pay attention, just like if you go into
Yeah.
a big city. If you're going to New York City, as far as I'm concerned, a cruise is just like being in downtown Chicago, downtown Detroit, downtown New York City, in Manhattan or Queens or the Bronx or wherever you might be. You got to pay attention. You
Yes.
kind of have to not let your guard down all the time. But clearly, that's not the situation here for poor
No.
Anna,
And that's
because
the thing, like if this is true, I mean, it was someone in her immediate family that,
right.
caused her demise, and, how awful. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it is definitely a tragic case. This is definitely, when I very first heard about this, I was not expecting this particular outcome.
Same.
I was concerned it was going to be another Amy Bradley kind of situation.
Yep.
And I don't know which is more tragic, to be perfectly honest, because this is pretty
Very true.
tragic to be with your family. So yeah, what a tragedy. It really just is just such a tragedy.
Yes.
What do you want to talk about, Loren?
Man, I don't know. It's hard to top that one. I mean, I just hope that, I guess my concern in that case is that Anna gets justice and someone steps up to the plate to be her advocate, because it doesn't seem, as of right now, the dad is really doing that. He's still with this, the girlfriend and all of that. So that's just my concern in this case, is I hope someone steps up to the plate to be her advocate.
Yeah, and I have to say, I've been watching the latest Mandy Matney Murdoch movie, miniseries, whatever you want to call it. And one of the things that strikes me about that case, and I feel like this one is going to be similar for me, is that family dynamic, a very, very dysfunctional family dynamic, and for completely different reasons. The Murdochs were dysfunctional, or probably still are, on a completely different level
Yes.
than what we're talking about here, but it's dysfunctionality just the same. And it is shocking to see parents not want to protect, not want to, and I don't know why I should be shocked by this. I myself have a very dysfunctional, non-existent relationship with my mother at this point, but very dysfunctional for my entire life. And that behavior also lacks there. But it's still so surprising to me when I see it elsewhere in other cases. And I think the reason it's so shocking to me is I would never dream of being that way with my son. And although it's been done to me, that's like separate. And so
Yep.
I'm always so shocked at seeing dysfunctionality exist in other parental relationships, even though mine was very much dysfunctional.
Yeah,
Me
but
as a mom is not.
exactly. So it's hard to wrap your brain around that when you're a compassionate, loving mother. Even if you've experienced that in the past, like you couldn't fathom it because it's just so beyond your pale. And so it's hard to understand why, especially a father wouldn't step up and want to protect his child. And
A
not only
daughter.
that, I believe he has other children in that house still. And there's,
Yes.
come on, like, what are you doing?
I, that is the part, and I've been completely fascinated by this miniseries because following that whole Murdoch case, because I started right from the weekend that the murders happened, and following that case and seeing this miniseries, it puts you in a different mindset, and it's so despicable. Like, it
Yes.
was despicable before, but when you are able to kind of walk in the shoes of the characters, which aren't characters, they're real people, but in the miniseries, they're characters, and you walk in their shoes and like seeing the very beginning scene, and Alec is standing there and Maggie is on the ground and Paul is on the ground, and seeing that perspective with him standing there, and it's like, oh my gosh. The gravity of that is so much bigger in that moment. How do you do that to your child?
Right. And I think I haven't seen the series, but I've heard wonderful things, and I probably need to put it on and watch it.
Oh, Lauren, it's fantastic.
That's what I've heard. It's really good. So I should do that. But like just from the trial aspect, like that was the thing that was hard to wrap your head around, is like, okay, we see this so many times with a husband and wife. It's not that far fetched, but just to cold-bloodedly kill your son for absolutely no reason. It
Child.
it was just like,
Oh, he had a
you have
reason.
to be a monster. Yes.
He had a
Yes.
reason.
Yes.
It
No, that's
wasn't a
true.
good one,
Yes.
but he
Yes.
definitely had a reason. And that's what's been fascinating in watching the movie, because it really does make you understand how this freight train was, billowing down the tracks and coming for him and his finances and everything. So yeah, I highly recommend it, especially if you watch the trial. I'm a
Yes.
mad true crime person, so I have followed true crime for decades before any of this existed. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that one.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
Absolutely. Well, I think I have used up enough of Miss Lauren's time this evening. I thank you so, so much for coming on this evening with
Thank you
me.
for asking me. I was so excited and I had a blast. So thank you so much.
We will do it again, I'm sure, when we have
Yes.
another night that there's tons to talk about, and I'll have you come on back.
Sounds
So
great. Thank you so
thank you.
much.
Thank you so much, and we will talk with you soon.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye. Ah, isn't it nice, y'all, to chat with someone that understands all the true crime stuff that's going on and is level-headed? We just love that here. So I want to let you know, I'm thinking there is a case I'm going to dig into for Monday, because it's Thanksgiving week next week. And the one that I'm contemplating the most is, because we're getting close to a court date coming up, is Courtney Clenny. So I'm thinking Monday I may do a summary of Courtney Clenny and that entire case to kind of get us prepared for what's going to be coming. And then Wednesday, for Wine and Crime Wednesday, I think I might do a summary on this is, of course, as long as nothing crazy pops off in the meantime. If something crazy pops off in the meantime, then I'll adjust it. But Wednesday, I would like to try to get into the Sarah Grace Patrick case. And Sarah Grace Patrick is the young lady whose parents were killed, and she went all over TikTok for support, and she's now been arrested for their deaths. And so that case has a hearing coming up in January. So I think we might be able to get some things put together with those couple cases so that everybody can get up to speed. Oh, Lovely Flight, you're not familiar with either of them? Well, we're going to dig right in. So, all right, you all know I'm getting my little schedule out. And I'm checking to see, because Sundays, I send the schedule for whatever I can fit on the sheet. But I can tell you next week we have a Kelsey Fitzsimmons hearing. Kate Peter has a hearing. And then the following week we have Brian Walshe trial starts. So I think next week, because it's that Thanksgiving week, we'll be able to get into some of these other cases so that we can get ourselves prepared and get some knowledge about it. And then we'll be probably all things Brian Walshe. I don't know that I can live stream every single night after trial during the Brian Walshe case, but in fact, I know I can't. A couple of those, I have real life stuff that people expect me to do. But anyway, I will do my very best. So with that, thank you all so much. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe, do it. If you're on the Twix, get on over to the YouTube page and subscribe and give me a likey on that one as well, a thumbs up. And I thank you all for spending such a lovely Wine and Crime Wednesday with me. Remember, it doesn't cost a penny to be kind, so find someone to do something nice for today if you haven't already. And as always,